just to give you a background, 'di ba? Of course, all of us are in this pandemic, no? And ano ba yung nangyari na, no? With this pandemic, with COVID-19. And for me, what's very stark is it really showed how far the gap is between the haves and the have-nots, the poor and the rich. No, talagang makikita na napakalayo ng gap nito. Okay, and worldwide, you'll be able to see, with this graph that trillions of pesos have already been wiped out in the global economy, no? Nag-shrink ang ating global economy by 4.3%, no? Because of COVID-19. And if you take a look at this, no, yung US, the Euro area, Japan, India, Russia, Brazil, with the exception of China, ay sila yung mga nag-negative, no? Negative ang kanilang performance. At syempre, kung negative ang mga yan, malapit na tayo ay negative. Actually, mas negative pa, di ba? In the past year, 2020, walang quarter na positive tayo. We dipped with lowest dip of about 16.5, I think, no? Or negative 16.9 contraction in the second quarter. And we were hoping that we will be able to bounce back on the fourth quarter, pero it didn't materialize because of the lockdowns that happened, that affected our economy. So yun. And then what else happened? There's unemployment na talagang napakalaki ng unemployment. The International Labor Organization actually estimates that around the world, around 120 million adults lost their jobs because of the pandemic. And sa atin, this is translated to 8.7% unemployment rate as of October 2020. No? It's been recovering, pero we don't think this is really enough kasi ang hirap talaga ng sitwasyon ngayon. Ano? And I was actually surprised to learn that the unemployment rate is higher in Metro Manila because traditionally, NCR, our economic powerhouse, so these are the cities, no? Manila, Makati, Quezon City, and all of these cities dito sa National Capital Region, sila talaga ang powerhouse ng ating economy. And because it is heavily affected by COVID-19, 12.4% ang naging unemployment natin dito. Followed by the Ilocos region and Calabar zone having about 11% unemployment rate, no? At this is not to show you also, I haven't even showed you the underemployment kasi yung underemployment mataas din, di ba? Aside from that, so parang bumaba na yung ekonomiya, nawalan na tayo ng trabaho, ang taas pa ng inflation natin. Ano? The inflation rate this February is 4.7%. And when I took a look at the data deeper, coming from the Philippine Statistics Authority, it was interesting to note that talagang ang naka-experience pa ng mas malaking inflation are those that are in the lower segments of the society. Sila yung mas naapektuhan nito compared sa mga mayayaman. So talagang ang hirap, napaka-unfair ng buhay. And ito, so parang sobrang sad talaga yung nangyayari. So walang unemployment, may mataas ang unemployment, ibig sabihin walang kita. Wala ka ng kita, tumaas pa ang presyo ng bilihin. And to add, to top it all off, we also have increasing number of COVID cases. Anong klaseng good news ba ang I need good news, no? Sana magkaroon na tayo ng good news. So that's the situation we are in now because of COVID-19. And if you take a look at this graph, this is pre-pandemic. So kahit pa before the pandemic, talagang may disparity na, no? Ang mahihirap at saka mayayaman. If you take a look at this from the time of Marcos until the time of President Duterte, talagang ang taas ng ating self-rated poverty. And if you take a look at the blue line, that's actually the trend for the macroeconomic indicators, the credit rating of the Philippines. And if you can observe, nagkakaroon ng malaking gap. Kasi ang ibig sabihin niyan, gumaganda yung macroeconomic performance natin, but these are not actually felt by the majority of the population, which are the low-income households. So ang nakikinabang ng magandang macroeconomic indicators natin and prior to the pandemic and the credit ratings are again the rich, no? Napag-iiwanan talaga tayong mga marginalized, no? Yung mga low-income households natin ng mga batayang sektor. Okay? And ito yung katotohanan dyan, ano? Ako, mangyak-ngyak ako actually when I read this. The top 10 richest people in the world increased their wealth by 540 billion pesos between March and December. So, nangunguna na dyan, no? Titignan ninyo si Elon Musk from 25 billion ay naging 75 billion na siya, no? 154 billion. Tapos si Jeff Bezos naman ay 113 billion dollars, tapos 191 billion na siya ngayon. So ibig sabihin, yung mga mayayaman, yung mga ultra-rich ay talagang nitong pandemic, mas yumaman pa sila. That is in stark contrast with the rest, no, of the population na talagang humirap ang buhay. And that is the social injustice that we want to address with social investments. So I was showing you the global perspective. Pero syempre, papatalo ba ang mga tycoons natin dito sa Pilipinas? So this morning, I went to the Philippine Stock Exchange and took a look at the top 30, no? Ang 30 blue chip companies ng Pilipinas, which comprise I think more than 80% of the local bourse, ano, in terms of capitalization. And this is what I found out, no? Inisa-isa ko 'yon kanina. Tinignan ko kung sino ba yung mga kumita or hindi, no? At ito yung nakita natin. Bago 'yan. Ito pala. So si Jeff Bezos ay lumaki na yung kanyang income, and yet ito yung ginawa niya sa kanyang company, no? Amazon drops $2 coronavirus pay. Ito yung hazard pay rise for warehouse workers as CEO Jeff Bezos' fortune soars to 150 billion. Now we know it's 194 billion. So ako lagi kong sinasabi ay, anong klaseng pera pa ang kailangan ng mga taong ito at anong puso ang meron sila na grabe, ang yaman na nga nila, tapos $2 per hour lang na pay hike, hindi pa niya maibigay sa mga employees niya. And mind you, hindi siya magiging billionaire kung hindi sa mga employees na ito. Kaya sabi ko, may mali talaga eh. We are concentrating too much power and too much emphasis on money, no, on wealth, to an extremely few, no, individuals, no, in the world. So yan, nakakagigil talaga siya, no, for me. And I also watched on CNBC I think 2 days ago, ang sinasabi naman nila ay actually yung in-increase ng wealth ni Jeff Bezos ay sapat na magbigay siya ng $100,000 each sa kaniyang mga employees, and yet mayroon pa siyang matitirang $10 billion na ikayayaman niya. Diba? Grabe! So ako parang, what kind of world are we in? Tapos, ang i-glorify ng media ay kapag, or everyone actually, no, i-glorify ng media, tapos siya ay magdodonate ng 2 billion pesos for what? For another cause, no, or ganyan. Tapos, wow, nagbigay siya ng $2 billion. That's not enough. Yung wealth niya is too much, and I think that is not a very good way of having social justice. Kaya nagkakagulo actually, no, ang mundo dahil sa ganitong mga sistema. Ayan, no? Oh, ito naman yung nakita natin sa mga listed companies sa Pilipinas. Ano? So, kinompute ko talaga siya kanina at inad at out ko, inisa-isa ko, no? Ang kanilang reports. At ang nakuha ko pang reports ay as of September pa, ha? So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa complete. Yung fourth quarter, diyan sila kumita pa, no? Kasi nag-bounce back yung economy natin ng very, very slight, no, compared to the previous quarters last year. So what I found out is that 27 of the 30 blue chip companies posted net income. So ibig sabihin, kumita sila, no? And yet, ano yung mga nakita natin? Binitawan nila ang marami sa kanilang mga employees. Kasi naman madaling bitawan dahil contractual, di ba? At ito ay in the back of, they have had robust income, no? In the past 2 decades. 2 dekada na silang sobrang daming mga kinikita. And yet, isang blip lang ng ganito, no, na pangyayari ng pandemic ay iniwanan na agad ang kanilang mga empleyado. Again, no, i-remind ko lang ang mga tycoons at ang mga mayayaman na mga business owners na mga ganyan. Hindi po kayo yayaman kung hindi dahil sa inyong mga manggagawa. Sana ay dalhin nyo yan hanggang sa inyong libingan, no? Makonsensya kayo. Ayan. Okay? And this is because bakit yan nangyari? Because of cost minimization at the expense of employee welfare. Ako naririnig ko, no? We run small companies. And yet, during the lockdown, naririnig namin ang mga malalaking mga companies na hindi na daw nila kaya na pasweldohin ng kanilang mga employees. At parang dahil nga hindi sila pumapasok, so no work, no pay, at i-consume mo na yung mga leave credits mo, mga ganyan. Sabi ko, bakit ako? Maliit naman yung aming company, pero we chose not to do that. Kasi ang nakita ko ay, mas kailangan kami ng mga employees ngayon more than nung maganda ang ating performance. So, ayun and yun, napaka-ano kasi, because the economics that has been teaching in all universities, unfortunately, is really yun cost minimization and profit maximization without really integrating social and environmental considerations. Okay? So, ito yung sitwasyon pa, no? Mga high-income earners natin, they pay the least taxes as a percentage of gross income. Kasi ang investment income po ay mas mababa ang kaniyang tax kaysa sa labor income, as a percentage of the gross. Kasi yung mga corporations na yan ay hindi sila sa gross na tax, doon sila sa net na tax. Ibig sabihin, tatanggalin mo na lahat ng gastos. Pero sa mga manggagawa, mayroon na sila, 2 beses silang natatax sa pagkonsumo in buying products with value-added tax and doon sa kanilang gross salary, no? So, hindi pa nababawas yung mga expenses nila. Hindi pa natatanggap ang pera, nakuha na ng gobyerno ang tax mula sa kanila. So, napaka-unfair, no? And then, they earn high yields since they are able to access formal financial institutions and participate in the capital markets. And they also get rich in inflation. Why? Because they are business owners. Sa kanila ang mga businesses na yan. So, kapag nagtaas ang rent, sino ba ang landlord? Kapag nagtaas ang presyo ng bilihin, sino ba ang nagbebenta ng mga produkto at serbisyo na yon? So, sila yung nakikinabang. So, yung middle and low income earners, which is practically 99.9% of us, hindi nga 1%. I think they're even less than 0.01%. Baka mas kaunti pa sila doon, no? Tayo, 99.9%, we pay most of the taxes as percentage of our gross income. Usually unbanked, and usually we deposit money to them na pagmamay-ari na naman nila ng bangko na yon, at wala tayong kinikitang interest. Tapos pinapakinabangan nila ang ating pera na siyang ginagamit nila na pang-business na pagpapayaman ulit sa mga businesses nila. Nakakaloka, di ba? We also lack access to capital markets and we pay more with inflation because we are the consumers. Okay?
Thanks for watching. Kung may kapamilya, kaibigan o kakilala kang tingin mo ay magiging interesado dito sa video, please share to them or tag them in the comments section. Syempre, kung nagustuhan mo ang video, pusuan mo na ito. Subscribe ka na rin. As always, feel free to write your questions, comments, and opinions respectfully.